This presentation is about the implementation of positive behavioral interventions and supports at the Southwest Justice Juvenile Hall and the David L. Long Regional Community Day School. This presentation is given by Evan Brown, the principal of both those sites. So in these settings, what are the strengths? Well, control is a big strength. Service of all students, committed individuals who are passionate about rehabilitation. What are our weaknesses? Well, sometimes our weaknesses are in the instruction, positive reinforcement, and behavior modification in a system that is very reactionary to student behavior. Some opportunities that we have is to improve instruction, safety and opportunities for learning, and strategies for teachers, probation, and administrators. Some of the threats that we face is a lack of buy-in, and oftentimes we get inconsistency in training between probation and school. So what is the proposed solution to these dilemmas? Is to implement a system for positive behavior that both school staff and probation will buy into and will hopefully change the behavior of students. This system is called PBIS, Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports. So what's the big understanding? All students, no matter what the educational setting, juvenile hall or community day school, need positive incentives to behave in a classroom and school. So what does PBIS look like? Well, PBIS is a three-tiered behavioral intervention and support system that begins at the primary level, moving up to the secondary level, and then eventually at a tertiary level. The primary prevention begins in the classroom with teachers implementing strategies for a positive rewards for students. The secondary level becomes more specialized, looking at students who are at risk, and then the third level is more individualized, working with students who are at risk, who are not succeeding in the current model. So in the past, school-wide discipline, it is very reactionary, focusing on student behavior. When a student behaves incorrectly, they get suspensions, expulsions, referrals. That doesn't work. Research has shown that we need positive strategies to help improve behavior. So what we need to do is introduce, model, and reinforce positive social behavior as an important step of a student's educational experience. This has to be taught. Teaching behavioral expectations and rewarding students for following them is a much more positive approach. The entire purpose of school-wide PBIS is to establish a climate in which appropriate behavior is the norm. How do we do this? Well, we use 4 elements of PBIS. There are systems that we use that are put in place to support. There's data that's being used to analyze, and there are practices that teachers and administrators put into effect in order to create positive student outcomes. So what do these outcomes look like? Well, they're academic and they're behavior targets that we're looking for. Practices are interventions and strategies that are used that are evidence-based, and the data is information that we use to identify the status of PBIS. The systems are there as supports that are needed to enable the accurate and durable implementation of PBIS. There are some key features of PBIS that should be noted. One is a prevention-focused continuum of support, proactive instructional approaches to teaching and improving social behaviors, conceptually sound and empirically validated practices, systems needed to change to support effective practices, and database decision making. So what will this look like? How will this be implemented at the David L. Long Regional Learning Center and at the Southwest Justice Juvenile Hall? Well, students and staff and probation will have to have buy-in, complete buy-in, and the implementation must be clear, purposeful, inclusive, and direct. So from a student perspective, what does PBIS look like? Well, many students would probably agree that if they had a system of positive behavioral support and something to build on and something that they could look forward to in school versus the reactionary system, they wouldn't be in the situation that they currently are. So implementation will occur at both sites beginning January 6th. Staff will receive training, professional development. There'll be 4 opportunities for this before January 6th during PLCs. Students will start with 24 points a day. They'll accumulate those points throughout the week and the month, and we'll have top students receiving incentives. So the principal, me, I will monitor the implementation and the success of PBIS by tracking student referrals, suspensions, and incidences in the classrooms and in the units. Students not succeeding will receive more specialized and individualized counseling, and that's it. The end. Thanks for watching.
created using Powtoon.